Time now for Sid Sixero. This is where you get 60 seconds to talk. Start the clock, please. Here's what's on my mind this morning. It's hands down one of the most significant sporting achievements by any Canadian in world sports this year. And funny enough, it was done when a lot of people stopped following that sport. Most observers, diehard fans, and casual watchers check out on tennis around the U.S. Open in September. So most of you can be forgiven for missing what went on over the past month. And what went on was a young Canadian was basically the best tennis player in the world. Montreal native Felix Auger-Aliassime this past weekend won his third straight indoor tournament in Switzerland. That followed victories in Florence and Antwerp. The 22-year-old's been on an incredible run, which included a win over all-time great Novak Djokovic just a few months ago at the Laver event. The last time we saw a Canadian put in this kind of run was Bianca Andreescu in 2019, the year she won the U.S. Open. Felix is having a similar run. He's 22 years old. He's good, man. He's good. Our next guest is good. Donnovan Bennett from Sportsnet. Donnovan, great to see you. Is he the next winner of a Grand Slam in Canadian tennis, do you think?
On the men's side, you'd have to think so. I mean, you have a couple options. On the women's side, Layla could get her first. She was close going to a final. Bianca obviously has one already, so she's done it. But, I mean, I think if the question is who might win the most, certainly I would say Felix, because he's just 22 and because he's so close for so long, getting to quarterfinals and playing the best players really, really tough in big moments. And what he's done in the last 3 weeks, not just 3 finals, but 3 wins, hasn't been broken in over 5 matches. And he is still 22. And he lost a lot of time early in his career due to injury. So we're really seeing him come to the forefront. But you better get in now if you are an advertiser or a brand sponsor, because to your point, he is close. And that rate card is about to go way up. This is a bit of a sleeping giant in this country because, quite frankly, we're, as you point out, sleeping on tennis. This happened after the majors, not leading up to them. And then, you know, obviously you have the ATP finals coming up and then a 2-month break before the Australian Open. So this conversation might lose some steam, but it shouldn't. Just because the World Series is going on in hockey and baseball are back, we need to recognize how rare what we're seeing from him is right now. Right now, he's the best tennis player playing in the world. He's not. I'm not saying he should be number one, but no one is playing at a higher level at this very moment. That's something we certainly should celebrate as Canadians.
Donnovan, I rarely do this, but I'm going to switch gears because the Leafs are kind of hot right now for non-good reasons. I'm going to give you 45 seconds. Go ahead. What are you seeing here?
Lack of energy, enthusiasm. It's like the snowball that continues to get bigger and bigger as it rolls downhill. Where you're watching, and it seems like, forget about us as fans, the team is waiting for something to go wrong. So in sports, Sid, you know, we always talk like they have to do this, they should do this, this is the must. Quite frankly, I don't really know, because you remove a coach. It's not like there's a bunch who could change the atmosphere in the room. At this moment, this coach is tied to the GM, so you're going to move the GM as well. They have so steadfast believe that their way is the right way. And when all your money is top 6 forwards, I'm not really sure what you do to change the dynamic in that room. What say you?
I mean, technically, it's top 4 forwards. All your money is spent on. In reality. I'll say this, because the Leafs play Philly here Wednesday night in Toronto. They're going to meet the media in Toronto for the first time since that debacle on the road, specifically over the weekend. Mitch Marner's going to have a hard time today. Like, I think some knives are out. I got to be honest with you. I think, and that crowd Wednesday, if things go a little sideways, woo! Got the, you know, there's going to be staff at Scotiabank picking up waffles off the ice if they're not careful. To be continued, Donnovan. Appreciate you. Donnovan Bennett from Sportsnet. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Don't usually turn like that, but I had to get his take on the Leafs. It's kind of a thing.